Fay, would you,
I don't know.
read from The Life and Loves of a She-Devil, which is quite the most extraordinary novel, I think.
Well, it's about really a good woman who decides to be bad, really. That is not to be a wife and mother, although she has been kind of doomed to this. She's very large. She's 6'2" and has warts all over her and so forth. And her husband has left her, and they're beginning to argue about the house, and she is left sort of struggling to make do in the abandoned marital home with the children. And she decides this can't go on. After breakfast, Ruth left the dishes where they were and required the children, they're horrible children, I may say, 2 awful children, to search the house for money. They looked under the edges of carpets and the crack where the cooker met the fridge, in the nutty sludge at the bottom of their toy boxes and behind the books on their shelves, between the piles of child art at the top of cupboards and at the back of wardrobes, and, of course, down the clefts of sofas and chairs. They found in all coins to the value of $6.23. Now, said Ruth, you will go to McDonald's and buy what you want. Big Mac, Super Mac, slice of fish, apple pie, and as many milkshakes as you want, on condition that you return here at exactly 11 a.m., no earlier, no later. It's not enough, said Nicola. It's all I have, said Ruth. I have given you everything I have to give, remember that. And all I ever had was scraps and leavings. They did not understand nor care, and went off to McDonald's complaining. The summer had been long and hot. Already the sun was well up, taking what little moisture the night had left, but there was a good breeze. Ruth went through the house as a good housewife should in such weather, and opened all the windows. She went into the kitchen and poured a whole bottle of oil into the chip fryer so that it brimmed, and lit a glow gas flame beneath it. She estimated that it would take some 20 minutes for the oil to reach boiling point. She adjusted the kitchen curtains so that they hung as the architect had intended, cheek by jowl with the cooker. She plugged in all the electrical appliances in the house, except the lamps, which might attract neighborly attention, using multi-point adapters bought especially for this purpose. Dishwasher, washing machine, dryer, air extractor, air conditioning, 3 television sets, 4 electronic games, 2 convection heaters, a hi-fi system, sewing machine, vacuum cleaner, blender, 3 electric blankets, 1 very old, and the steam iron. She set them all to maximum performance and turned on all the switches. The house roared, and presently a slight smell of burning rubber filled the air. Such sounds and smells were not unusual in Eden Grove on a Saturday morning, just rather more intense than normal as they wafted over Nightbird Drive. Ruth went back into the kitchen and turned on the gas in the oven, then knelt and pushed down the plunger, which worked an electric spark. This plunger, if held down for at least some 9 or 10 seconds, heated to red hot a metal flange which then ignited the gas in the oven. It had always been an annoying device. This morning she held the plunger down for only 8 seconds. Then she removed her finger and closed the oven door without checking that the flame had lit. And we go on, she goes through all the rooms in the house, doing exactly what the fire department says you shouldn't. And 22.5 minutes later, the kitchen exploded.
Now then, as the year comes to an end, we're featuring people who, for one reason or another, will never forget 1986. Now, some made the breakthrough to fame, others suddenly found themselves at the centre of attention. Julie T. Wallace was an unknown actress plucked from obscurity to take the evil and demonic lead in the television adaptation of Fay Weldon's The Life and Loves of a She-Devil. She played an ugly and rejected wife, driven to taking a terrible revenge on her unfaithful husband. And it was a part that required her to take on 9 very different and menacing characters and undergo quite extraordinary transformation on a bizarre journey to Beachy Head.
Find the woman. And there the she-devil is. Glitter, glitter. Are those my eyes? I am invigorated. Self-knowledge and reason run through my veins. The cold blood of the she-devil.
very luckily, so early in my career, I got the part of Ruth. You know, because there's not many parts to suit my physical type or whatever. So when you hear or read about a certain part, you know that hopefully when it comes up that you will try and do that part. And when I read about Ruth back in '83, I read The Life and Loves of a She-Devil back in hardback in '83, I thought, well, there's a part for me. I wouldn't mind it. So when I heard that the BBC were doing it, I, you know, went hell for leather to get the part, which took about 3 months of various workshops, screen tests and stuff, to prove to the director that I could do it.
I'm Rita Rooney.
What a pretty name. I'm Geoffrey Tupton. Like a drink?
Oh, thank you. Champagne, please.
What did you say your name is?
Lily Latimer.
Oh, come along, Lily Latimer. You better meet Nurse Hopkins.
Who are you?
Polly Patch.
Polly Patch.
My compliment was, after I played Ruth, was that the fact that a lot of men came up and said, you know, well, Ruth did the right thing, you know, she did the right thing. And that's good that it wasn't just a feminist piece that women identified with, and, you know, women all over the world thought, yes, yes, Ruth, Ruth. But that men could, you know, some men, I'm sure some men are put upon by their wives, you know, would like to wreak this revenge or whatever. So in that respect, it was, you know, she's identifiable to a lot of people, not just females. God, I think I got a bit bored when people kept ringing up and saying you're in the papers and stuff. You know, it was a bit, you know, various friends wrote letters saying, I'm going to my psychiatrist, you're getting on my nerves every time I open a blooming paper, you're in it, you know, ugly mug staring out. So I think it's, you know, it's quite a lot, but it's fair enough. You know, once you're in the public eye, you've got to, you know, you've got to come to terms with that, you know, your public property, and you're going to be wrote about and talked about and stuff, you know. And like when I was, you know, on the tube or whatever, people look at you and they talk right to your face about you're so different from the, you know, but not actually talking to me, and they think that I'm a little cocoon or whatever, but I'm actually quite human, you know, you are, not just because you're a sort of star or whatever, you know, you're on the telly, but you can be quite human, you know, and you can get a little bit upset at what they say. But again, you have to say that that's the actress they're talking about, not the person, you know, the personal person. For the future, I just want to do good work. I don't know what it will be. You never, I mean, in acting, you just can't tell. It's been a fantastic year. I mean, I've worked so hard, and I'm very lucky to have got the results, you know, and been part of such what was I think, a rather good series, and carried on to do other stuff after that, you know. It's been my break, but I might fade to obscurity next year, so, you know, this is going to be my only year I ever work. You can't tell in this business, but I've really enjoyed '86.
Right, we introduce another guest on our couch this morning. The Life and Loves of a She-Devil, that's the title of a black comedy about the bitter revenge of a wife on her husband's mistress. It's on television. The story, written by Fay Weldon, has been serialised for BBC Two, and it starts this evening. Playing the faithless husband is our guest, Dennis Waterman, and here's just a glimpse, before we speak to him, of tonight's drama.
He doesn't even think about me anymore. All he ever thinks about is Mary Fisher.
And I'm very happy to have her, and lucky. I also value her friendship. But Ruthie, baby, has a suspicious mind. Jesus!
Well, Dennis, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
That clip sort of partially explains the plot. Could you perhaps elaborate just a little more without giving too much away?
It is about, well, I'm married to Ruth, who is 6 foot and 15 stone and not the most attractive woman in the world.
And that's the Julie T. Wallace that's been getting a lot of attention in the media recently.
Yes.
Big lady, to say the least.
She is actually very attractive also, but they made we used to sit in the makeup room and each have a moustache put on every morning. Yeah. She's strange when you're sitting next to your wife and she's putting a moustache on. But I eventually leave her. We have what is known as an open marriage, in like I tell her what I'm doing. And I eventually leave her for Patricia, and then basically the story is...
Patricia Hodges playing the part of...
Mary Fisher.
Mary Fisher.
Who is a romantic novelist who lives in a white tower. And basically from then, once I leave, it is how Ruth gets her revenge on both of us, and she she certainly does.
But the lady drags you off to her White Tower, does she?
Well, I move into the White Tower, yes. She doesn't try to fight me off a great deal.
And you don't do much fighting anyway?
No. Given up fighting.
What about the revenge? I'm totally... When I say it's a black comedy, is it funny? But it is terribly bizarre, I gather, is it?
It is very, very bizarre. I mean, some of it I find very funny, but it may be maybe a little black that you don't realise it's funny. It is a comedy. I hope people do laugh, but it doesn't matter if you don't. I mean, it's one of the strangest things I've ever been in. I mean, the title is a bit worrying, Life and Loves of a She-Devil, because there is nothing really magical about what she does. It's just like she decides to become powerful. It's all from within her, but it's not really mystical as such.
And you call her a she-devil when you depart?
Yes, it's just one of a line of abuse.
Yes. And she takes her revenge in a very strange way, or ways.
In many strange ways, yes, that deal with lots of... She becomes something like 9 characters throughout the piece, and I'd like to tell you how it does end, but it would really wreck it.
I won't let you. I won't let you. I mean, like all actors who are very well established now, you can be rather more fussy about the scripts. Now, it's a Fay Weldon, based on a Fay Weldon novel, is it not? Is it a good story? Is it well written, good to act in?
Oh yes, it's been adapted by Ted Whitehead, but as faithfully as I've ever seen an adaptation. I mean, there are huge chunks straight out of the book. There was the book. They sent me the book first, and then the scripts. And Philip Saville was directing, who I had great admiration for.
You rate him?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, anybody who saw Boys from the Black Stuff, you can't not. And I couldn't say no to it. It was wonderful.
Now it's tonight, I think, BBC Two at 9:25. But it's a set, is it?
It's for 1 hour.
Yeah.
It'll be every Wednesday for the next 4 weeks.
Mm. And how's the delicious Patricia Hodge?
The last time I saw her, she was exceedingly delicious. You're quite right. I have to agree with this.
Now, what you're doing now, that is presumably all in the can and done, is it? The whole 4 sets? So your life now is doing something else. What is that?
I've been doing a couple of little television things, but what is happening actually next is that Rula and I, being the clever people that we are going to Perth with a play, but it just happens that we're going there for the end of December, January and February.
For the cricket?
Well, there's cricket, there's yacht racing, and there's lots and lots of sunshine. While you're here in February, I'll nearly think about you.
That's lovely. Well, we will. I was never been to Australia. You'd send me a card, will you? Wish
Certainly,
you were here.
Frank.
Yes, I'd like that. Yes, several people do send me cards from exotic places.
Oh, I will. I'll do that.
Anyway, thanks very much, and we look forward to seeing the series. And good luck in Australia. We envy you that.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks very much indeed.
Cheers.